Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, X-Force issue number 16. I enjoyed this. There's a lot of reasons why this was a really good book. We're going to get into a lot of that good stuff after we give credit where credit's due. So this issue is called Into the Deep. Benjamin Percy is the writer, Joshua Cassara on art, Guru FX doing the color art, letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, and Tom Mueller doing the design. Cover art by Joshua Cassara and Dean White. Variant covers, enjoy. Head of X is Jonathan Hickman. Okay. Why do we put Wolverine in books? Historically, why do we put Wolverine in books? Because Wolverine is a very popular character. His character has been diminished a lot. His popularity has been diminished a lot. It's not because people got bored with Wolverine, it's because Wolverine has become boring. But for the most part, you put Wolverine in a book because you want the book to sell, because Wolverine is one of those characters who belongs in a solo book as well. Even though I know that wasn't the intent of Chris Claremont, the idea is that Wolverine is much bigger. You know what I'm saying? He's much bigger than that. And Claremont, to be fair, didn't exactly create Wolverine, so eh. But team player or otherwise, if Wolverine is in a book, historically, it's shown that it's going to sell. Literally, the most popular character that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did not create, right? The most popular character, or Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, whatever. The most popular character alive that the original crew did not create is Wolverine, and sales have always shown his popularity is there for a reason. Why am I even going into all this stuff? Because at the end of the day, I feel like Wolverine has been treated like a chump for way too long. The whole, well, we can't exactly have him kill people with those sharp, pointy pig stickers on the end of his knuckles. I think that there was no purpose in even creating the character then. Because if you're not going to have him kill some people, then eh. If you're just going to have him go against the big boys and get chumped, eh. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Like don't have him getting punked out every which way, left, right, and center, and then have him go up against the Hulk one day, and then I'm supposed to be impressed, like, oh crap, because now you're just going to bring down the value of the Hulk along with that also. And this is something that I've been saying about Benjamin Percy, the guy who's been writing Wolverine and X Force, and the guy who's been writing the solo series for Wolverine as well. Wolverine has been punked so many times. It's painful, actually physically painful to see. And yet, he's allowed to keep on writing him. In this book, I get the hope that that's going to change. Wolverine seems to be targeted by this god of the deep, this being, this beast that resides below, almost Cthulhian, which is the way that it should be. You see, there's something on Krakoa, some kind of an infection, and maybe it's Krakoa's fault, maybe it's not. Who knows? Namor's in this comic book, and he has something to say about it too, besides what Dr. Cecilia Reyes and Beast have to say about it. And I love the idea that Reyes right away knows what all of us know, that Beast is going to try and weaponize this thing. I love it because the way that she approaches it, she realized it the exact same moment that all of us noticed it, and that makes for good reading because we feel like we're there. We feel like we're a character in this book who has a say in this, who's an audience member, who gets to, we're not just screaming, don't go into the house, because this is a book where if we scream out, don't you go in that house, they turn around and it's like, oh, I don't know, are you sure? And we can actually talk them out of going into the house or doing that stupid thing that's going to get them killed in a horror movie or whatever. We actually have a say in this. That's at least the illusion that we're meant to feel, because the way this book is written is so damn good. I love the idea that Namor wasn't chumped in this. I love the idea that Wolverine, he actually had some good moments in here, and we have the potential for a Wolverine solo. The guy who's writing the Wolverine solo series, he's maybe starting something in here that we're going to see, and we damn well better soon. I need this to be a thing where Wolverine is trying to hunt down a god. What was it? Quaggoth, I think the name of the thing was, back when him and Kitty Pryde and Wolverine's, was that his second or his third volume? Anyway, I have that first I have that issue where that happened. That was the first appearance of Quagoth. I think that was his name. I like collecting all the Marvel's versions of the great old ones. You know what I'm saying? Just it feels cool to be able to have all those because I always love the H.P. Lovecraft stories. The person himself, not exactly a good person, but I'm not here to make excuses for the guy. So it is what it is. But I've loved his stories. Wow, I've loved his and Conan's stories, the King Cole's stories, all the Robert E. Howard stuff, which was influenced by H.P. Lovecraft. I've loved those. So seeing Wolverine actually go against him, it's the weirdest thing. He's the unlikely character that would. Like, the idea that he's afraid. There was a lot of stuff with God in here, right? Forge getting a little bit freaking crazy in this one. Burn, burn, ah, rah, rah. You like that? You like that? Like, dude, you need to calm down. Like, you really need to freaking calm down in this, bruh. Um, and Wolverine's like, hey, why don't you just calm down? And what's he say? If or he's like, remember, there's one leader here, and you're not him. He's like, if things go wrong at 80,000 feet below the Earth's surface, or the water level, you're gonna say my name like a god. Like, I think you need to calm yourself down there, Forge. You really need to calm yourself down, brah. Wow. Before I tell Storm that you're working on another mutant nullification device and she comes over and kicks your ass. How about that? Say something now, fool. Say something now. Anyway, Quentin Quire getting that cuckoo kiss. Hey, how you doing? I don't want you to die anymore. Like we've actually got a joke on the joke of him dying so much. Because all of us, I read the comments section, even if I can't comment on everything because it's just way too much. I do read the comments. And I know you guys were like, dude, freaking guy dies every issue. What the hell? I love this guy. Yeah, but now it's actually addressed. Now you can't be mad at it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, whatever this Kakua chick said. Which freaking cuckoo is this? God damn it. Phoebe. Freaking Phoebe shows up. Phoebe from Friends, the blonde chick from Friends. Anyway, she shows up and she's all like, hey, baby. And if you don't die this time, then you'll remember that kiss. And Quentin's like, I'm not dying this time. Everything that happened in this comic book, dude, was just golden. I dug this. Even the way that it ended in a way where there's mystery there. There's something where you're like, is this the way the book is ending? But it wasn't like you felt unfulfilled. I finished this book and I'm like, this ends like an H.P. Lovecraft story. Granted, with Namor jumping down there, but the funny thing is Namor got philosophical here. I wonder what would happen if this beast claimed me as he's staring into the abyss. They're talking about staring into the abyss, but Namor's been down there. All the horrors that come from the great unknown, the sea, Namor's there. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the two most fearless characters in Marvel and DC should be Namor and the Silver Surfer. Think about it. The unknown horrors and expanses of space and the unknown horrors and expanses of the sea. Who knows them better than these two? The two most fearless characters in the Marvel Universe should be those two when you really stop and think about it. So you want to talk about Cthulhu? You know what I'm saying? And all the Marvel equivalents thereof, and Max Bemis who decided, no, let's actually make Cthulhu in here. Like, I didn't need you to do that, dude. I really didn't. But the idea that he went and, that Benjamin Percy actually went and explored all of this stuff here and made this end this way, it felt like a Call of Cthulhu type story. The way that one of those Cthulian mythoses, the Necronomicon style mythoses would have ended. Except with a hero at the end, but still contemplating his own demise, his own potential brink into the loss of sanity. And Wolverine saying, I will not rest until I've killed a god. This was such a fulfilling comic book. Wow. Drawing anything, because everything drawn in here is Joshua Cassara. Every single thing that is drawn in this comic, I opened to this page and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Every single thing that is in this comic book is drawn so and inked and colored so expertly, and for Cassara to come walking in here like a one-man wrecking crew and just making something this beautiful is out of control. This is an amazing issue. It really is. It didn't have to be oversized. It's just a random thing. It's not some event where it's like, look over here. It's just, here's issue number 16 of X-Force. Oh, look, it's a hentai-style tentacle. I'm surprised there's not a penis drawn at the end of it. This is just as bare bones and basic as it gets, and yet it draws great inspiration from a fantastic mythos of stories, and it makes it its own here with modern characters whose origins, who the universe in which they inhabit, its origins are steeped ever since Roy Thomas into the Cthulhian mythos to begin with. And my God, man, this was a really great way to have a regular sized issue of a comic book just kind of come out of nowhere. New things were introduced here. The whole thing could just end here, or it could continue, and I damn well hope that it continues. Ah, wow. Wow. I am left genuinely impressed by the magnitude that this book took to just make this incredible issue. Wow. This book had no right being as good as it was, and yet, bang, 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 daddy. Guys, I don't need a freaking Ten of Swords event. I don't need a freaking King in Black event. I don't need all these, I'm going to say it, really effing stupid events that don't mean anything. I don't need them. I just need good storytelling. I need good art. I need a good book that's just going to pay some kind of homage or some kind of credence to what came before, and make something of itself and give a hint of what's to come to the future. And I could just look at it and say, just like looking out onto the horizon, I have no idea what's out there. And God only knows what's below the surface. But man, it's beautiful up here. And it's scary below. I can't wait to see what comes next. This book was so good that I have this fear in my heart that it can only go downhill from here. Percy should recognize this as something where he could literally change the X-Force and Wolverine books into something that we need in Marvel, and that's some good horror stories, because the Immortal Hulk is ending, and body horror can only go but so far. I want something where we actually go into that senses nulling fear type territory, where you're terrified of everything going forward and you're fearful for your sanity. That's what X-Force could be at this point. That's where Wolverine can kind of go. It could be an event into itself, just these two stories where you don't call it an event. You just, like, this could just be the X-Force Wolverine saga, the Benjamin Percy saga. This could literally turn into something amazing. Just whatever Hickman has in mind. This is what I want to see. This is all that I want to see at this point. Right now, X-Force just put itself on the top of my must-read list. And I'm really hoping that the next issue and the books going forward and Percy going forward just continues with what this started with. Because wow, and just a little bit of wow. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Like the video, watch an ad. Class dismissed.